Hello, I'm Will Reincke, Business Development Manager at Nomios UK&I. I am joined by Phil Oultram from Alkira, and we're going to talk a bit about cloud area networking. Welcome, Phil.
Great to be here. Thanks, Will.
Excellent. So where should we start? So I know you are relatively new to the UK market, but it'd be great if you can tell me and our viewers a bit about what Alkira does.
Sure, that will do. Simplest way to put it is that Alkira are pioneering cloud area networking, which is the easiest and fastest way to unify clouds, sites and users. So essentially what we do is to automate the creation, management and operation of your network.
Okay, so can this help customers expand to multiple regions in a public cloud like AWS or to multiple clouds like Azure, GCP, others, etc.?
Yeah, no, absolutely, yes. The cloud area network unifies your entire network, so multiple regions, multiple clouds to form a high resiliency, low latency global cloud fabric. It's managed using the same controls, policies and security that network admins know today. And Alkira is delivered completely as a service, so it instantly scales, it can be automatically deployed via UI or code, and it provides end-to-end visibility.
Okay, so enterprise recognise that in the age of digital experiences, the speed of business is the speed of IT. So we see organisations embrace DevOps, we see them automating anything, everything, we see them embracing the cloud more. Their compute and storage has already moved to the cloud, consumed as a service, yet the network has not. So the network is the last domino standing between enterprises and realising the agility promise of the cloud. Mm-hmm. What do you think that is?
Well, the challenge is that current network architectures, as we see it, they were never designed for the level of change that the cloud has created. So as we see it, there are two key problems really. First, there's three entirely new classes of networking. So securely connecting on-prem to cloud, networking inside the cloud, and networking across cloud regions and multiple clouds, all with their own unique requirements. Okay. Secondly, the cloud has created a huge amount of complexity. Applications have moved into the cloud, and as that's happened, every region has become like its own data center with its own local networking, user access, security, network services, internet and visibility, and this is multiplying the complexity.
Okay. So I guess it's the combination of a significant new requirements coupled with the step function increase in complexity that has left existing networks simply unable to keep pace with the rest of IT.
Yeah, and absolutely. So cloud adoption, it's a generational change, a foundational change. This level of change is way beyond something that could be patched with a new software tool, orchestration schemes, or some kind of overlay. With every generational shift in networking, it's typically been signaled by the arrival not of a new tool, but of a brand new architecture.
So tell me about that architecture. Tell me more about what new architecture Alkira thinks is required then.
So it has to be a network built 100% in the cloud, delivered as a service with no hardware to buy, no agents to install, and we're the only vendor taking this approach.
Okay, so hold on a minute. Aren't others taking a similar approach?
Similar, yes. Other solutions in the market require you to deploy agents onto the VPC. Quite frankly, we think that the notion of agents has been over for years now. We shouldn't be wasting time considering how much resource they're consuming, whether they're secure, how we keep them upgraded, where they're located. Quite frankly, agents, as we see it, it's an architectural step backwards when we need to be taking a step forwards.
Actually, I can understand that. I can see how setting up software agents would be a big step backwards in today's market.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people want today, they want an architecture an approach that reflects the cloud and their experiences within the cloud. Yeah. The whole point of the cloud was to get away from setting up hardware and configuring software.
Excellent. So tell us more about what some common customer use cases for cloud area networking, Alkira, etc.
So initially it's all about getting everything connected to each other. So think remote sites, users, clouds, data centers, and then making sure that those connections are highly available, redundant for disaster recovery purposes. Typically it then expands into a simpler way to insert network services, so things like next-gen firewalls and DNS.
Okay, so I can see why it's important to start by connecting everything together. Does the journey stop there, or is there more that customers want to do?
Yeah, so once everything's connected, it becomes then about unifying it all as a single network with end-to-end capabilities. So end-to-end network segmentation, end-to-end visibility, both from the edge of the enterprise deep into the cloud and across multiple clouds, as well as end-to-end IP conflict. So detecting and remediating overlapping IP addresses on-prem, cloud, and multi-cloud.
Do customers ever bring up the challenge of scaling and managing the operation of the network?
Yeah, we do. We hear this a lot, actually, particularly when moving to multiple clouds. That's when the complexity really increases. Customers want to be able to create networks as code and policy as code. Essentially, what they want to be able to do is to automate everything, ideally as part of their CI/CD pipeline. And this is something that Alkira can help them do straight out of the box.
Excellent. So tell me about your ideal customer. When is the right time for them to adopt cloud area network?
So Alkira really focuses on mid-size enterprise customers. We find the best time to adopt Alkira cloud area networking is either when you're at the beginning of your cloud journey or when you're planning to deploy new workloads into a new cloud service provider.
So tell me about how how your customers have used Alkira.
So Techion's a good example to start with. They're a unicorn startup, a SaaS provider in the automotive space. Their whole business model depended on rapidly connecting dealerships to cloud in a highly available manner. Every branch was different though. It was taking a lot of time. It would require lots of engineers to be able to provide this connectivity. And it got to the point where it was taking days to set up each dealership. And they struggled with connection reliability as well. But with Alkira, connecting those dealer sites to the cloud became point and click, very simple. It took minutes, and it's actually freed up their teams to be able to focus on innovation instead of just working on network plumbing.
Okay, so it seems like speed and reliability were core to Techion. It was Techion, wasn't it? Is that the case with all of your customers?
Yeah, it usually starts there, but it expands quickly into how do I unify everything that's connected. So another example is Warner Music Group. They were expanding regionally and had big problems with network islands and silos. So their CIO, Ralph Munson, he was focused on improving the overall speed of IT as a primary source of competitive advantage. So the Warner Music Group team now, they're able to move into new regions and unify them over 700 times faster with Alkira.
Okay, awesome. So I think you mentioned previously the importance of scaling in an automated way. And this is particularly difficult as you go to multi-cloud. Are any of your customers struggling with this?
Yeah, so take Coke as an example. Coke manages one of the largest private networks in the world. So 70 countries, 700 sites. And they've been very sophisticated in the past. They've been able to build their own cloud on-ramps using physical equipment, but this took them 2 years to achieve. They then later did it using purely virtual constructs, and that then took them 6 months. And it was at this point they realized that they needed something that was as a service delivery model. And that's when they sought out Alkira. Matt's quote there is one of my favorites, actually. It's a really accurate description of kind of a typical Alkira customer experience. I'll just read it out here. So it said, we'd gone from a massive complexity and months of work to a dashboard that allowed us to simply draw our network and deploy it in a few hours. So, I mean, this is a really common thread with Alkira. Months become hours, days become minutes, and it's not just incremental improvement in agility, it's a step change.
Okay, excellent. So slight change of subject. So how are you viewing the channel and specifically Nomios in your expansion plans?
Okay, yeah, well, it's great. So Alkira work exclusively with channel partners in the UK and Ireland. We're really excited to partner with Nomios. So we all know that Nomios' reputation and credibility and security and networking is first class. So by partnering with Alkira, who are pioneering cloud area networking, as I see it, it's a perfect partnership that's going to help organizations to transform and modernize their networks for the cloud era.
That's really great to hear. As vendor manager, I'm delighted to hear that. Phil, it's been fantastic talking to you today. I really enjoyed it. But if there was one key takeaway from our discussion today, what do you think that would be?
I think it would be that Alkira cloud area networking significantly simplifies networking for the cloud era and reduces complexity for organizations, thus making them a lot more agile.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to learn more about Alkira Cloud Networking, please visit Alkira at www.alkira.com, and we'll have some further information on the Nomios UK website very soon. Thank you so much for watching.